This ugly thing that looks like a 6th grade science project is actually the latest prototype of an open source device that will one day help us measure how scientists browse scientific posters so we can improve poster sessions and learning across science. It's actually quite beautiful compared to my earlier prototypes, like this one and this. But it's clearly more function than form at this point. These two LiDAR sensors emit narrow beams of infrared light. If you place this device at the end of a row of posters or at an entrance to a poster session, and then a scientist walks across it, it breaks those beams and then counts that as an entrance or an exit depending on which beam was broken first. These long-range LiDAR sensors are especially useful for tracking wide entrances to poster halls, and they don't need to bounce off of a separate reflector device like most commercial people counters. Being able to eliminate that reflector device means you only have to carry half the amount of devices in your suitcase or shipping or whatever. And it's easier to install even if your poster session has a weird layout. And if you're going around checking the counts on these devices at a poster session like I'm doing here, you'll never forget which side is the reflector and which one is the transmitter like I'm doing in this video. Dang it. I also mounted these LiDARs on this rail so I could slide them closer and further apart to see where the beams overlapped at different distances. But the problem with these LiDARs in general is that they can only count one person at a time. If a group of people walks past, it's only going to count that as one usually. And that's why this prototype also includes a radar sensor behind this piece of plastic here, and a switch on the side to flip between LiDAR and radar modes. The radar can count up to 3 people at a time and do a better job of estimating how close somebody is standing to an individual poster, which matters for trying to figure out a conversion rate on when people actually engage with a poster. The radar mode is better for counting visits to individual posters, and LiDAR seems a little bit better at measuring traffic to the poster hall itself with big entrance doors or just really wide poster rows, which happens. This prototype also has a little menu interface because we want to start experimenting with what kind of configuration options and data saving options we're going to want. Like this one lets you name the poster row based on its location. So if you have a bunch of these devices, it'll automatically save that location name in the data, which is super, super helpful for analysis. And by the way, so far the data saves the time and location of each individual visit to an SD card in CSV format. That means it saves more precise data than most commercial people counters that will just sort of get you counts per hour and things like that. It'll help us answer how long did people spend in front of this poster or in this row or in the poster hall. And you don't have to constantly manually set the time on this prototype because the circuit board includes a real-time clock. Another feature I discovered it needed the hard way, by manually setting time over and over again until I just added the stupid clock. The circuit board design and all the software code for this prototype are now available on GitHub under an open hardware license. I'm trying to build this all open source so that we can especially standardize the data that comes out of these devices and ask a lot of questions across conferences. I just took this device to a large liver science conference in Amsterdam and also got to test a bunch of off-the-shelf people counter devices for tracking poster traffic at that same conference. But overall, I learned a ton from this prototype. I learned a ton from trying to test these devices at a real conference, and I'll hopefully be back showing you the next, ideally more attractive PosterBuddy prototype, integrating all the things I learned from this one before too long, in the near future. If you want to help with this project or any other kind of project to bring better design and better UX measurement to science, join me on the new Science UX Discord or the Science UX Reddit, or contact me directly on LinkedIn or Blue Sky. Thanks for caring about improving science. See you soon.